Readings of Almighty God's words on the pursuit of the truth. How to pursue the truth. 11. Liking to idolize stars. We finished discussing loving the arts. Next, let's talk about loving to concern oneself with celebrities' private affairs. Some people particularly love to concern themselves with the private affairs of celebrities, stars, such as what celebrities eat, what they wear, where they go to have fun, whether they have had cosmetic surgery, who they are romantically involved with, what friends of the opposite sex they have, what sexual partners they have, and even how many illegitimate children they have, and which high-ranking officials and wealthy people they've gotten intimately involved with. Such people are particularly concerned about these private affairs of celebrities. They not only concern themselves with celebrities' private affairs, but also particularly like imitating celebrities' daily lifestyle choices, their speech and behavior, and their attitude toward life. At the same time, they also particularly like to follow their whereabouts and their various thoughts and viewpoints. For example, if a celebrity likes to keep a certain kind of pet dog, they also keep one. If a celebrity wears a certain brand of clothing that is particularly popular on the market, they will also buy the same item. If they can't afford it, they'll go for a knockoff instead. If a celebrity uses a certain cosmetic product, they'll get it to pretty themselves up, even if they're broke and have to sell a kidney or blood to afford it. They even follow celebrities to wherever they perform, hold press conferences, or attend film and TV release events. They will pay attention to and track every word and action, every move, and all the whereabouts of the celebrity they follow, reaching a point of obsession where they do not have a life of their own or their own correct thoughts, viewpoints, and lifestyle, where they are completely misled and controlled by the celebrity's thoughts, viewpoints, and lifestyle. What kind of problem is this? Is this an innate condition?
No.
Does this have anything to do with the social environment in which people live today? It has a bit of a connection. So, why is it always a certain group of people who idolize stars rather than everyone, despite the fact that all people live in the same current environment? What is this related to? Would you say that these people who idolize stars love the arts? Not necessarily. Are they good at the arts? That's also not necessarily true. But the things they do are related to people in the arts world and to artistic trends. What kind of problem is this? Is this a problem of corrupt dispositions? A revelation of corrupt dispositions is precisely what this is. Such people revere evil and follow evil trends. Then, is there a problem with the humanity of such people? Why, when there are so many paths to choose in life, do they choose such a path? Does this involve the issue of character? Some people say, this is a defect in humanity. This is being innately simple-minded and foolish, and being easily misled by others. Is this the reason? Others say, is it because most of the people who idolize stars are young, immature, and superficial? unable to withstand the temptation of these social trends? Is it because they're young? Some of the people who idolize stars are middle-aged or elderly. This group includes people of all ages. In light of this, these people who idolize stars are not misled by these social trends because they are young, immature, and do not yet understand the matters of life. Therefore, the claim that people who idolize stars are all young and immature does not hold. Since it is not due to being young and immature, it is a problem of humanity. So, what problem of humanity is it? Is it not engaging in proper tasks? In one regard, it is not engaging in proper tasks. In another, it is being somewhat frivolous and not staying within proper bounds. What else is it?
Not walking the right path.
That is correct. It's not walking the right path. It involves the issue of the path one takes. After reaching adulthood, what occupation one engages in and what kind of path one chooses to follow in this society and among people is a required class that lies before every person. Whether they keep to their place and go about their days in a proper manner, whether they engage in a proper occupation, and whether they engage in proper tasks and walk the right path, all of this depends on what they like and what they follow within their humanity. Look at people from all walks of life. Some practice martial arts. Some learn about healthy living. Some engage in the technology industry. Some engage in the fashion industry. Some engage in the film and television industry. Some do business. And some enter politics. While some believe in Buddhism, some join the Taoist faith, and some choose to believe in God. Some people do not have a proper occupation, nor do they search for their own goals in life. Every day, they just focus on idolizing stars. To what extent do they do this? To the extent that they lose their appetite for food and drink. If the star they idolize is their dream lover, then they can even abandon their own spouse at any time. If these people idolize stars to the point of obsession, to the extent that it can dictate their lives and their choice of path, becoming an indispensable part of their lives, what state are their lives currently in? They are not keeping to their place while they go about their days. If the person idolizing stars is a woman, can she be a dutiful housewife who supports her husband and raises her children, a virtuous wife and loving mother? A person who idolizes stars to the point of obsession is simply mad. Wherever their dream lover holds a concert or a press conference, they feel compelled to go to get an autograph. They travel long distances by plane and even cross borders just to follow them, and their family cannot hold them back. They constantly track the celebrity's itinerary online and camp out at the venues where the celebrity will appear. If they miss them, they go several days and nights without eating and sleeping, crying endlessly. Usually, everything they concern themselves with on the internet and on TV is about celebrities. Of course, some people do not focus on just one celebrity, but on several, male and female celebrities, young, middle-aged, and elderly celebrities. They concern themselves with these celebrities' appearances, with the state of their marriage, with their relationship status, and with their private lives, using a lot of mental energy to hunt for information about them. They treat idolizing stars as a source of pleasure and interest in life, engaging in it as if it were a serious matter. What state is this kind of person's life in? They are like a walking corpse. Their thoughts, the state of their life, as well as their daily behavior and whether they're in a good or bad mood, are entirely influenced by the celebrity they chase after and imitate. If the celebrity they chase gets into a relationship, they feel so miserable that they lose their appetite for food and drink for several days and nights. If the celebrity breaks up with their partner, they feel over the moon. They feast, pop champagne, and post on Weibo to celebrate. Every night, they dream of being with the celebrity they chase and have nothing but sweet dreams. The celebrity they chase is their dream lover, and no one else looks as pleasing to them as this person. Isn't the state of their life abnormal? They have reached this level of obsession. Have they been controlled by an evil spirit? So, does the humanity of people of this kind have a defect, a flaw, or a problem? Their mental state is a bit abnormal. Normal people sometimes hear some news about people in the arts world, and when they're shooting the breeze, they may also casually mention a few words about it. But when they return to real life, they continue living as usual. If they are a mother, they fulfill their responsibilities as a mother. If they are a father, they fulfill their responsibilities as a father. The work they engage in is not affected or hindered in the slightest. If the star they like holds a concert somewhere, they feel it has nothing to do with them and continue living their lives as usual, unaffected. Although they have some admiration and envy for that star, and a bit of fondness, when they return to real life, they have independent thoughts, and no impact is made at all on their own life and career, their own faith, and the things they should pursue and the path they should walk. This is having the normal thinking of humanity and a normal mental state. However, people who love idolizing stars have already lost themselves and the ability to control themselves in the process. They are completely led by these so-called stars, by the nose. Their thoughts and the state of their lives are entirely controlled and dictated by the words, actions, and emotions of the stars. This is no longer merely a problem of humanity. Their mental state is somewhat problematic. Their emotions have become abnormal. The state of their daily lives has become chaotic, and they have completely lost their direction. Their whole lives only consist of idolizing stars. Idolizing stars is the only indispensable thing on their path of existence. As long as they live and breathe, they enjoy idolizing stars, and they rely on it to pass the time each day. If they do not idolize stars, they think that life is empty and meaningless, and that they live without any goal or direction, feeling lost in their hearts. So, from time to time, they feel that they must go online to search for updates on the celebrity they like, what they are eating and drinking, what state their life is currently in, when they will hold a concert, how their most recent film performance was, what the state of their marriage is, what their family situation is. Every now and then, They search for such information to pass the time and to fill their empty, directionless, confused lives. Haven't they been completely controlled by these celebrities? Haven't they been controlled by this mindset or trend of idolizing stars? Then, do people of this kind still have conscience and reason? They're out of their mind. Their mental state has become abnormal. After being misled and disturbed by this kind of external trend or phenomenon, they have lost their direction and no longer know whether what they are doing is right or wrong. They don't know what's good or bad for them. If people try to dissuade them, they simply cannot take it in or understand it. In order to attend the concert of the star they worship, they are willing to spend 3 to 5 months' worth of wages, and they even pawn some valuable items or borrow money, and after they return, they have to repay their debts. They pay this kind of price just to achieve their goal of idolizing stars. Are people of this kind normal? Judging from the level of obsession and lack of self-control they have reached, such people have already lost all conscience and reason and can no longer control themselves. They do not care at all how much money they spend and how far they travel for the sake of idolizing stars. Thus, judging from these manifestations, it is very difficult for them to be classified as normal people. It must be said that there is a problem with their humanity. They have lost their rationality. Does their conscience still function then? Do they still have conscience?
No, they don't.
Then what kind of people are they? They have neither conscience nor reason. Their humanity has been reduced to nothing but an empty shell. The real life of normal humanity has become increasingly distant from them. It is very difficult for them to integrate into real life, and very difficult for them to settle their mind and engage in normal matters of real life. In their lives, there is only the single matter of idolizing stars. So hasn't their spiritual world been controlled by the matter of idolizing stars? Such a person, from the outside, appears to be a person, but in essence, haven't they already become nothing more than an empty shell? What kind of people are those who are left as empty shells?
Walking corpses.
That's right. Walking corpses. Do they have faith? Do they have any positive pursuits? Do they understand what positive things are and what negative things are? What is just and what is wicked?
No.
How can it be seen that they do not understand? Currently, famous singers on stage are wearing increasingly revealing and seductive outfits and performing increasingly wicked movements. The audience members who idolize these stars feel increasingly enthused, gratified, and intoxicated as they watch this. In particular, when a pop star gets a bit worked up and takes off their clothes and throws them to the audience, the people in the crowd go completely crazy. Some get so excited that they go into cardiac arrest and then pass out. Spectacles of star idolization are actually this intense. Sometimes stampedes even occur, and some people are injured and lose their lives when rescue efforts fail. These are all tragedies caused by idolizing stars. Getting injured and losing one's life as the result of idolizing a star. Tell me, Is such a life not worthless? Is it worth anything? Judging from their emotions, the things they like, and the scenes that make them excited enough to scream, do these people know shame? Do they know what positive and just things are, and what wicked things are? They do not know. Normal people see these scenes and feel repulsed. How has the world become this evil? This is too evil. But these people who idolize stars see these scenes and feel happy, proud, satisfied, and content, believing they now have no regrets in this life, and they scream and cheer for these scenes. This shows that deep in their souls, they do not know what wicked things are, what just things are, what positive things are, or what negative things are. Some female fans of singers or actors even chase their favorite male star to his residence, ready to offer themselves to him. When the star refuses, they even become angry and call the star a coward. Do such people even have any shame? Do they understand the meaning of the words sense of shame? Do they understand what positive things are and what negative things are? They don't even understand the words sense of shame. When the star refuses, they even insult him. Are they even human? It's not that they're missing something within humanity. They're mentally deranged. They are unclean spirits and evil spirits. Among various groups of people, there is always a portion of people obsessed with idolizing stars. Such people, to put it precisely, are walking corpses, and specifically speaking, they are non-human. They regard stars who frequently appear on stage and on screens as something to chase after, and even consider doing so a legitimate career. They fritter away their lives in this kind of manner. It must be said that in the whole of society, people of this kind are a special group, more or less the same as those at the bottom of society who do not engage in proper tasks. They are all dregs and worthless. They have no faith, no positive pursuits, and in their humanity, they do not possess any positive needs, positive aspirations, or positive things. No matter how wicked or how dark the arts world is, they do not care or find it disgusting, and they accept and approve of it, and furthermore, zealously follow it. What kind of people are these individuals? It can be said that they are dregs. From the perspective of the spiritual realm, people of this kind are unclean spirits and evil spirits. When unclean spirits and evil spirits reincarnate as humans, they also have to eat and act like normal people, but they do not engage in proper tasks or accept the truth in the slightest, and only like to search for people of their ilk to seek out pleasure, and idly drift by while waiting for death. If they cannot engage in the arts industry, they follow the people in it, and they follow all kinds of evil trends within it to satisfy their needs. Therefore, regardless of what these people are good at, just the fact that they have such pursuits and choose such a path and such a way of living in society shows that they are not good people or people who can attain salvation. The reason I say that such people cannot attain salvation is precisely because inside their humanity there is a void. This void must be put in quotation marks. Why? because their humanity does not possess positive things, but instead possesses everything that unclean spirits and evil spirits possess. Following evil, revering evil, following darkness, and revering darkness. They are the followers at the forefront of the evil trends in this whole evil society, as well as the transmitters of these trends. After various wicked fallacies and various distorted thoughts and viewpoints from the arts world are transmitted to the public through computers, TVs, magazines, newspapers, film and television works, and other forms, they gradually circulate among people and then get spread widely. Among these people, it is precisely these star idolizers who are the vanguard in spreading the wicked thoughts or evil trends and ways of doing things found in various film and television works and artistic works. They are the first line of relayers who transmit various wicked thoughts and various distorted thoughts and viewpoints. Through their word of mouth, through their concrete actions and manifestations, the public gradually approves of and accepts various wicked thoughts and evil trends. Then, they become conditioned and permeated by them little by little. In the end, this causes evil trends, wicked thoughts, and distorted thoughts and viewpoints to gradually gain a foothold and take shape under various social systems and among various groups of people. Looking back at the past, in terms of marriage, when people reached a marriageable age, they were introduced and set up by a matchmaker. Marriage also required the consent of both sets of parents, after which a date was set, and the couple entered the hall of matrimony. In the social context of the past, most people showed respect and prudence when it came to marriage between men and women. They regarded marriage as a major event and were able to treat it with seriousness and earnestness. Especially regarding their children, they required them not to be debauched, not to commit incest, and not to engage in illicit sexual relations. These requirements had to be adhered to. At the very least, most people had this concept in their hearts. In this way, under the restraint of the conscience of their humanity, many people avoided the evil deeds of engaging in illicit sexual relations and promiscuity, which, to a certain extent, protected both men and women. Of course, it also had a certain positive effect and influence on the social climate. However, with the development of the times and the emergence of various artistic works, all kinds of thoughts and viewpoints advocating sexual liberation, marriage freedom, and so on have continuously appeared. For one thing, they are advocated by certain individuals. Additionally, society promotes and widely spreads them a step further through renditions and performances in various artistic forms. These thoughts are first acknowledged and accepted by a portion of star idolizers. That is, the first audience for them is these star idolizers. Because these people idolize stars, they quickly accept and approve of these thoughts advocated by stars on stage, on screen, or in certain artistic forms. After strongly approving of them, they then influence their children as well as the people around them in daily life. In this way, one person passes these thoughts to 10 people, 10 people pass them to 100, 100 people pass them to 1,000, 1,000 people pass them to 10,000. Diffusing these thoughts from a small scope to a much wider one. Over the next 1 or 2 years, people voice these ideas, and 5 or 10 years later, they still voice them. 20 or 30 years later, such wicked thoughts increasingly take shape among people. They are spread increasingly widely to every corner of society and become more and more deeply instilled in every person's heart. Then these wicked thoughts and evil trends are gradually approved of by people and gradually accepted by the public, and people become increasingly self-indulgent, debauched, and unrestrained regarding marriage and matters between men and women. People believe that this is being open-minded and having broad horizons, and that this is a sign of mature humanity, speaking about negative things as though they are positive and legitimate. By this point, the evil trends of the whole society have experienced an upsurge, gained the upper hand, and become mainstream. Most people no longer have correct thoughts and viewpoints regarding marriage between men and women and male-female relationships. They feel these things aren't a big deal. In particular, homosexuality has become increasingly common. Furthermore, extramarital affairs have become increasingly common, and thus, the divorce rate has increasingly risen. More children have also lost paternal and maternal love, living in either a single-parent household or a household with a stepfather or stepmother. Many people have a partner of the opposite sex before marriage and do not see this as shameful, and even think that it is normal, that this is how society is, and that it's no big deal. At all times, wickedness is forever wickedness, and positive things are forever positive. Even if you think it's not a big deal, that is because of this evil trend and the decadence of this society. It is caused by humans being corrupted by Satan and being instilled and filled with wicked thoughts and evil trends. It is not the case that positive things can be called negative, nor that negative things can nowadays be turned into positive things. If you think this way, it is because you do not understand the truth or what positive things are. It is caused by you, under these circumstances, being forced to accept evil trends and wicked thoughts as the principles and foundation for how you conduct yourself. This society and this humankind have been deeply corrupted in just this way, little by little. Therefore, in the matter of evil trends being widely spread and deeply instilled in people's hearts, these star idolizers play the role of the vanguard in spreading evil trends and wicked thoughts and viewpoints. They are the first-hand spreaders of these things. If we say that this is Satan corrupting people, this is a bit vague or abstract. But if we say that these star idolizers are the actual advocates of spreading Satan's thoughts and Satan's evil trends, this is most accurate. This is because they are the group of people closest to the arts world, or to various wicked thoughts and evil trends, and they are the portion of people who come into close contact with these movie stars and famous singers. Without these people chasing after them, without their obsessive support, these so-called famous singers and movie stars would not have such great allure, such great renown, such great influence, and such power to mislead. It is precisely because of these star idolizers' adulation and intense imitation that various evil trends and wicked thoughts have been spread among people at an extraordinary speed. Through their concrete actions, they tell the public that the various wicked things and various distorted, wicked thoughts and viewpoints that appear in the arts world are things people should accept, that these things are very normal and legitimate. In the end, most people gradually accept these wicked ways of doing things and wicked thoughts and viewpoints. As a result, the extramarital affairs, promiscuity, or any of the wicked thoughts, viewpoints, and ways of doing things of these so-called well-known figures, famous singers, and movie stars become downplayed, with no one expressing a correct opinion or judgment of these things. Thus, no matter how promiscuous these well-known figures, famous singers, and movie stars are, they are not eliminated or condemned, but continue to flaunt themselves on stage. This perfectly aligns with a popular saying in society: "Mock the poor, not prostitutes." This is a true portrayal of humankind's decadence, and also evidence of it. You see, when you believe in God and are arrested and imprisoned, people mock and look down on you. In fact, they also know that you have done nothing wrong. Believing in God is having faith, wanting to be a good person, and wanting to go to heaven. Female believers do not sell their bodies and work as prostitutes, and male believers do not carry out robberies but conduct themselves in a rule-abiding manner. Yet people find you to be displeasing. If a woman is an attractive beauty, and she has indecent dealings with high-ranking officials and wealthy people, and goes out for a spin in luxury cars every day, others envy and admire her, saying, "You've really got something. You've got it going on. You're able to earn money for your parents so that they can eat good food and wear nice clothes. Your looks sure are valuable." But if you have good looks and marry someone who believes in God, they will laugh at you. Not only will they laugh at you, but when they see you being persecuted, they will also bully you. Isn't that the case? None of the things done by this group, these star idolizers, has any meaning. On the contrary, these actions have fueled Satan's spread of wicked thoughts and evil trends. Look at the star idolizers of the present day. Some women go on stage and readily sing and dance, and when they see a famous singer, they worship them to no end. This is vastly different from women in the 40s and 50s. In the words of non-believers, they have become open in thought, and open in sexuality. They're liberated in both these areas. Some people say, "What era is this? Who spends all their days with just one husband? Who always centers their life around their children?" You've got to find someone new when you can, and enjoy yourself when you get the chance. Just look at what kind of thoughts these people have, how terrifying they are. If a believer in God also thinks this way, is that a good sign? If a believer has these thoughts and viewpoints, envies and worships such people, and wants to be such a person, isn't that very terrifying and very dangerous for them? Let's not talk for now about how terrifying or dangerous it is. Just in terms of the essence of these people, deep in their souls, they especially envy admire, and love these stars. They can accept all kinds of behaviors and all kinds of thoughts and viewpoints from stars. No matter how wicked the thoughts are, they can accept them. They believe this is how people should conduct themselves. Only this is being free. All thoughts and viewpoints should be allowed to exist. It takes all kinds to make a world, after all. In their thoughts, there is no distinction between positive and negative, no distinction between right and wrong. Isn't this mentally abnormal? If it is because of low caliber that someone has no ability to discern right from wrong, but they still have a sense of shame and can adhere to something if they know that it is right, and absolutely will not do something if they know that it is wrong, and can loathe something in their heart if they know that it is wicked, then this is still a normal person. But if they clearly know that something is incorrect, that it is wicked, yet not only do they not resist it, but can also accept it without hesitation, and even envy and follow it, sinking deeper and deeper, then they are not a person but a walking corpse. They are ruined and cannot attain salvation. Therefore, it cannot be said that people of this kind have poor humanity, little integrity, vile character, or an absence of conscience and reason. That is not the issue. The biggest issue is that they simply do not have humanity. So what are these people? Unclean spirits, evil spirits, and walking corpses. They are the advocates, relayers, and spreaders of various evil trends and various wicked, distorted thoughts and viewpoints. It is just like a plague. One person carrying a virus spreads it everywhere they go, and the more places they go, the more widely the virus spreads. These star idolizers are equivalent to virus carriers and spreaders, so they are absolutely not members of humankind. They are non-humans. What is the definition of so-called non-humans? It is that these people are the advocates and spreaders of evil trends and wicked thoughts and viewpoints. Do you understand now? If you still envy these stars in your heart, or once wanted to become this kind of person, I'm telling you, this is a road of no return. Never try to be this kind of person. If you have ever played a role in a film or television work, if you have ever wanted to become a film star or a well-known figure and planned to take this path, I'm telling you, immediately hit the brakes and come to a stop. This is not a matter of being punished or rewarded. It is a road leading to eternal damnation. Never take it. If you want to follow this kind of person because you were temporarily misled or weak, or because of some temporary envy and longing, then listen to my warning. Listen to my exhortation. Immediately hit the brakes. Never step into that industry. Never step into those ranks. Never become one of them. If you cannot persist in walking the right path or doing meaningful things, you still should not become a spreader of evil trends and wicked thoughts and viewpoints. That is a path cursed by God. So, no matter what role you once played in a film or television work, whether you considered yourself an important figure, a well-known figure, or some high-level figure, no matter how you positioned yourself, all of that has become the past. It was all wrong. If you have now already hit the brakes, then it can only be said that at that time your stature was immature and you did not understand the truth. Never think that way in the future, and never walk that path either. If you want to be an important figure or a well-known figure, if you want to be worshipped and followed by others, then immediately think about the words I have spoken today. For any person, eternal damnation is unfortunate news to receive. It is the worst possible news. That is a path cursed by God. Never walk this path. Never be tainted by this filth. Stepping onto this path means eternal damnation. You must conduct yourself in a rule-abiding manner because you are a created being, a member of created humankind. No matter what role you have held, what work you have done, or what contributions you have made in God's house, in the end, you must determine your proper place. What place? You are a created being, a member of created humankind. You must fulfill the duty of a created being. Your performance of duty must be up to standard. It must be done to God's satisfaction. You must testify for God, propagate God's words, be a witness for God, and attain salvation. This is the lifelong responsibility and obligation that you are duty-bound to fulfill, as well as the path you should choose. You should not follow Satan's evil trends and be a spreader and relayer of wicked thoughts and viewpoints. Those people are the degenerates of humankind. They are evil spirits and unclean spirits. They are cursed and consigned to eternal damnation. If a person walks down that road and not even 10 wild horses can pull them back, then they will get their just deserts. They will not come to a good end. Therefore, at all times, you must know that you are a created human. You must know what your place is, what you should do, and what kind of path you should take. This is the most important thing. Is it necessary to fellowship about these things? The topics involving people's paths in life are very important. From time to time, you should listen to them and ponder them. Doing so is beneficial and helpful for your life entry and for your walking the correct path in life. It has a good, positive, constructive impact on these things. Do not forget these words. That's all for today's fellowship. Goodbye.